Hello everyone, Ryan here. So I was recently tagged by Todd the Librarian. He recently created his own tag called Todd's Tag. So it's aptly named. He came out with some pretty cool questions. And before I start, I just wanted to briefly mention that I tried recording this tag several times before, and I don't know what it is like every time I tried to record before and something would happen that required my attention, and not only that, but I don't know why my phone started like picking up on way too much background noise. There's way too much background noise going on. It always seems to happen whenever I try to record any kind of Booktube video or YouTube video. Just people in the background, I don't know, my neighbors or my family or friends, they just always like to make a lot of background noise. So finally I decided I should just sit down and just record it, even if it is audio only. And plus it gives me a chance to experiment more with editing software. So anyways, I'll just get right into the questions here. Number one, have you ever regretted joining Booktube? No, I definitely never regretted joining Booktube. If anything, I've regretted not joining a lot sooner. Number two, what is the last movie you walked out on? I've definitely never walked out on any movie. I mean, as far as at the movie theater, maybe that I would say there have been a handful of movies that started watching on TV or on Netflix, and yeah, just ended up changing the channel or just not watching them altogether. But other than that, I've never walked out on a movie. Number three, what character do you remember the most? And you can't name Harry Potter or Twilight characters. Off the top of my head, I'm going to say Ishmael from the classic Moby Dick by Herman Melville. Ishmael is not only one of my favorite narrators, but also one of my favorite main characters, protagonists. I just like the way that he describes certain things. And also, too, because I know that Ishmael is supposed to be kind of like a slightly different version of Herman Melville himself. So that was number three. Number four, which classic novel do you feel in tune with or identify with the main character the most? I'm going to have to say The Catcher in the Rye. And I've always felt like I kind of identify with Holden Caulfield, the main character. And granted, I know a lot of people feel like he comes off as just this whiny brat. And I can definitely see why somebody would think that. But for me, he mostly comes off as just this kid who all of a sudden, sees reality, sees people for what they really are. That being, and also the fact that people inevitably succumb to just their own flaws, I guess, and at the same time, it's, to me, it speaks volumes about the fact that pretty much every single human being ends up being hypocritical in some way, shape, or form. So, number five, if you could meet anyone from history, who would it be? Definitely Nikola Tesla. If you don't know who Nikola Tesla is, I encourage you to look him up, Google him. Everybody knows Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison created the direct current generator. Nikola Tesla created the alternating current generator, which the alternating current generator, while it rotates, I guess you could say turbine. I'm not exactly sure if that's what it's called. But while the turbine rotates, not only does it create energy, but it also distributes the energy at the same time. And with the generator that Thomas Edison created, direct current, the direct current generator, it has these big, huge turbines that spin around and around and around, and then eventually at one point, I guess, stops for a couple seconds or something, and then distributes the energy, which is why, inevitably that caused what they refer to as rolling blackouts, rolling brownouts. And then also not only that, but Thomas Edison was concerned with profits. Pretty much his main goal was to profit off of electricity. And, granted, I will say that no doubt it wasn't his only goal, but just based on the stuff I read about him, it was his main goal. Nikola Tesla, however, was not concerned with profit. He, in fact, wanted to provide all of mankind with completely free, clean, and renewable energy, and he was well on his way to doing that, but unfortunately his efforts were thwarted by a lot of private investors. One private investor in particular, J.P. Morgan, who, they were also concerned with profit. So, yeah, unfortunately his efforts were thwarted. But still, much of his research still lives on today thanks to the internet. And so, yeah, I should probably do a separate video in which I could talk about Nikola Tesla in depth. I know that he was a very fascinating individual, so, yeah. Definitely look him up if you haven't before. So that was number 5. Number 6, the apocalypse strikes, and you can only take one of your books into the wasteland with you. Which book do you take? For me, I'm going to definitely have to choose some kind of short story collection. I know that, whether or not such a collection exists or not, but some kind of collection that includes 1 or 2 short stories for some of my favorite authors, like Ray Bradbury or Isaac Asimov, Leo Tolstoy, Fyodor Dostoevsky, H.G. Wells, Mark Twain. Mark Twain is one of my favorites. Herman Melville, and a slew of others. So, yeah, that's what I would pick. Number 7, if you could write a masterpiece, what would your subject matter or genre of choice be? As far as genre, I say it would definitely be some kind of literary fiction. Subject matter would definitely have to be something to do with the human condition and or the dumbing down of the human race. Something like that. I mean, something along the lines of like a slight dystopian kind of thing, but not really. The best way I could describe it is like something along the lines of 1984 meets The Time Machine meets Animal Farm meets Moby Dick meets I don't know, War and Peace or yeah, something along those lines. Which, by the way, if you haven't already, my first novel, Aperture, it is available for free download. Link is always down below. And then, of course, this question has also reminded me of the fact that I've been working on my second novel for quite a while now. I don't really know when I'll be done with it, but yeah. Number 8, if you were a drink, what would you be? I'm going to say bitter chocolate oatmeal stout. It's definitely my favorite beer. Unfortunately, where I live, it's only available during certain times of the year. So, in fact, I think pretty much within, I don't know, another 3 weeks or so, it should be available once again where I live. So, yeah, kind of looking forward to that. Number 9, what is your favorite foreign language book? Of course, I never read an entire book in another language before. I have attempted to read different stuff in Spanish, but I can only understand a certain amount of Spanish. But as far as translations of foreign language books, I've read several of those. I guess one of my favorites is Don Quixote. And yeah, I remember, because it's been a while since the last time I read that. I think what prompted me to initially pick up that novel was the fact that when I was a kid, I used to watch this cartoon called Don Quixote. It was an animated show with this coyote, and pretty much, he did pretty much all the same stuff that Don Quixote did. And then he also had a sidekick who was a panda. He was named Sancho Panda, and it was a pretty cool cartoon. I liked it. Unfortunately, it didn't last long. It got canceled. So, number 10, what separates us from other life forms on Earth? I guess I gotta say the fact that we're self-aware, aware of our own existence, but also too the fact that we're able to create a lot of different things, create a lot of really cool stuff like art, literature, movies, plays, so many other creative things. I mean, as far as I know, I've never seen any other life form on this planet. Well, I mean, maybe with the exception of maybe, I don't know, chimps or elephants. I heard one time I saw on the news there was an elephant that would paint. They put a paintbrush in the elephant's trunk, and then. But I mean, as far as I know, I've never seen like other life forms like bugs or spiders, other insects. I've never seen them, paint or direct a movie. But then, I don't know if they have. Hey, I'd like to see that. So that was the last question. I'm going to go ahead and tag some people. I tag Literary Metamorphosis. I believe her name is Bianca, if I'm not mistaken. She's a fairly new booktuber. I recently saw her Booktube newbie tag video she did. I really liked the answers she gave. She had some very insightful answers. So I tagged her. I also tagged the Daily Reader. I believe her name is Shan. She also has some good insights when it comes to certain books. And also I'm going to tag Kathy Chatty. She's another one of my favorite booktubers who I watch just because I like how, while she does read a lot of YA stuff, but she is really good at explaining, I guess, her particular insights. And so, yeah, and then, of course, if you're watching this and you've yet to do Todd's tag, go ahead, feel free to do it. I definitely encourage you to do so. Todd created some awesome questions. So yeah, that'll do it. I'll provide links to the other booktubers I've tagged. And yeah, Todd, thanks for tagging me with some pretty cool questions. So that'll do it. Thanks for watching. As always, till next time, don't forget, keep it real, keep on rocking, and peace.